Alright, hello everybody. This is Alex, the Realistic Runner, and I'm going off on a short little run today. And it leads me right into my topic. How far should you run, particularly when you're starting off? What's the distance you should be running? Well, I'd say any distance you can run, especially if you're starting, is a good distance. Especially if you've not run before. You know, a lot of the joints aren't used to slamming against the pavement. And right today, I've signed up for I signed up for a 5K a few weeks ago, and today my running plan is a short mile and a half at, I should probably start my watch. The pace that I'm running is 8 minutes 38 seconds is my target pace, and that's not too bad. I've been able to do that before, and I'll probably be pretty out of breath just because I'm out of shape, but that's not terribly fast. About 7 months ago, I did a 10 miler at like 7 minutes 20 seconds, something like that, the whole time, average pace. So I know I have the capabilities to run faster, but like many people who start running, it's painful getting the joints back used to it, and running is pretty high impact, so it's good to start slow. So how far should you run? Well, I don't know, maybe a mile. Can you do a mile? Can you walk a mile? You should probably be able to walk a mile first, but if you can do that, I'd say start off with a mile. Shouldn't take you longer than 15 minutes or so. I mean, if you're really walking quickly, you can probably do 15 to 20 minute mile. So running, you should be able to do about that if you're starting. And I think if it was hard for you, then great. I'd say it's a good thing. But the program that I'm using to tell me how far and how fast I should run, it's called Run with Hal, I think. I'll look it up. But Train with Hal, something like that. It's a pretty cool program. I'm using the free version, but they have a really in-depth training program if you're interested. If you're trying to be very specific in your speed or how fast you want to finish something, that program, I think, will get you there. So far I've liked it. The app's pretty good on Android, and I think they have a lot of detail on the computer application. But yeah, it's a short run today, but that leads me into what that connects to in regular life is just doing what you can. If you can only run a mile, then only run a mile, and don't beat yourself up over it. And a lot of people, there's a line that you have to walk, in that you have to be honest with yourself. Are you really giving it your all? And when you get done with that mile, could you have kept going? And if you could, that's fine at the beginning, but the challenging part of walking this line is being honest with yourself. And I think there's a huge void in our society of people being honest with themselves, having a good self-identity, and not lying to yourself. You know, I've seen that plenty of times. People, they justify certain actions to everyone around them who may or may not know they're lying, but they even justify it to themselves in a dishonest way, where they say something that tell themselves something over and over again eventually becomes true. And I'm guilty of that. Absolutely. I used to do that all the time. I probably still do it. I try not to, but I absolutely still do it. I guarantee you. One thing for me is with cars. I had a time in my life where I would be buying, selling cars every 6 months, every year, and I would tell myself that this car is not right for me so much that I would believe it, and then I'd be able to justify it to my parents or to my wife, to myself, that I need to get something new. And then I'd go do it. And guess what? 6 months later, guess what's back? That same feeling. Oh, I need something new. And I was able to, because realistically you shouldn't be able to justify to yourself that you need a new car that often. My cars were never breaking down. They were fine. Just I wanted to have something new. I wanted that status symbol that I saw on YouTube. I saw a bunch of people with big trucks on YouTube that looked cool, and I wanted to look cool too. So what did I do? I bought a truck. And I think that's where you see a lot of cars, and such an easy example because that's the status symbol. You know, your status is the nicest of a car you drive. I drive a 95 Honda Civic, and I do take pride in it, even though it looks like garbage. I take pride that I've owned it for 3 years, had it stolen a few times, and got it back, and I paid $1,000 for it, and it's still running. And so for me, what do I get out of that? Obviously it's a little embarrassing when it's making such horrible noises as it's turning corners. It makes some crazy noises like popping, this horrible squeak when I turn left. It's quite embarrassing because it's not like the car looks good on the outside, it just makes some noises. No, it looks dented, rusted, fading paint. So most of the time I was able to kind of just squeak by. Actually, not squeak, just drive past people, no one would notice. But now it's making a whole bunch of noise and drawing attention to myself, which it's not what I'm looking for. But I do take pride in that car because how little I've paid for it, and I've been able to keep it running. So that's why I keep it. But I got sucked in the trap of lifted Jeeps. What does that say to the person at the stop sign about me? It says that I'm cool. It says that I should be respected because I have this really nice vehicle. And I mean, that's what we're all chasing. Let's be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves. That's why we have nice luxury cars. So we're trying to prove ourselves to people, which if you dig down deep, you'll find a lack of self-confidence. You'll find someone who's really insecure, and that would definitely be me. When even now, insecurities that I try to gloss over with taking disproportionate action to try to cover those. And I think that's really where it all comes back together, is the honesty with yourself. And if you look at yourself, just take car buying as an example. look at your motivations. Me and my wife were talking last night about examining our motivations in something that was pretty delicate, and my wife was wanting to be sure that she knew why she was doing something, because if she was doing something out of a large amount of self-servingness, she didn't want to do that. And I think there's, like I said before, there's a huge lack in that in our culture, in our society. We're all trying to be something we're not. Like this vlog is my way of trying to overcome some of my fears of being on a camera, putting my thoughts out there, and to be honest with myself about what I say, what I think, and it really gives me a good opportunity to really think through what I want to say, because it's going out. It's not just a conversation between a couple people that nobody else hears. And we can do that, especially with political topics, religious topics, when you're with like-minded people, where there's no one there to challenge your argument, and a lot of you just get confirmed the same thing you already think over and over again. And running and putting something down and actually thinking while I'm running has been very helpful. So I'm coming to about 1.5 miles. That was about 12 minutes, and I'm gonna slow it down a little bit. If you'd like to leave me a comment, that'd be great. Let me know what you think, and please let me know if this heavy out of breathness doesn't work on video. I've watched them and I think they look okay, but that's the creator of them. You can never tell your blind spots until someone points them out to you, or a lot of times with my job working on social media, I read something 10, 15 times, don't see anything wrong with it, and then I hit post or publish, and the second after I press that button, I see like 3 typos. Like how is that possible? So if you wouldn't mind, let me know what I can do better here. Be awesome. Leave me a comment and let me know how I can make these videos better. Let me know what you want to hear if you care, and see you all in the next one.